Hello everyone, welcome back to my Yu-Gi-Oh video, and as you could tell, I'm oldish. Yeah, this is probably ancient. Um, it's called a GY, dude. And why is that called a fusion zone? God, you're so old. No, I don't know. I just can't do modern Yu-Gi-Oh, but I have modern Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Nevertheless, I'm going to do some physical trading card content. So, so I'm playing the Yu-Gi-Oh! I know. Yeah, back in my day, this was Yu-Gi-Oh! No. I wonder how many times people will say, okay, boomer, in the chat. Okay. So, there are going to be some duels where I do prearrange the results of the shuffles because it'd be more of an interesting video than as it is right now, where it's just random. And since this is not an official sorry, since this is not officially a Konami sanctioned event, in these Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel videos, I'm going to use cards like Pot of Greed and illegal copies of the Egyptian God cards. So if you're wondering why they appear in this duel, this is why. This is not for reflecting of current meta, as it's called. Yeah. Now I'm showing how old I am. I'm 29 years old, okay? I'm too old. Modern cards scare me, man. No. Anyways, let's play Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, I draw. And yes, I did start both hands with 6 cards. I set my marshmallow, and I end my turn. Now, I'm going to, on my opponent's side of the field, set Familiar Knight, which will allow me to special summon one level 4 monster if it's destroyed. But that's a whole nother thing until it happens. So, since I got nothing else to do, I draw again. Now, this is a spellcaster, or no, I tried to make this deck more like what Yugi would have had. So, we're going to pay half of my life points to summon a Dark Magician. And I'm sorry, my phone is being a bit blurry. One of the free cameras, I don't know which one. Okay. I pay half of my life points to grab Dark Magician from the deck. And I can't summon any other monster card for the rest of the turn. Okay, so I have 4,000 life points left, and I got a Dark Magician on the field. Now, I did misplay a lot in my first turn, so I will set my Soul Rope, my Magic Jammer, just show for the record, my Negate Attack, and my Gift of the Mystical Elf. Now, I have one Spell and Trap Zone, which I'm sure will probably be called something else in 10 years. But, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to act confused, I guess. In that case, I don't know. But, nevertheless, I draw, and I get Queen's Knight. Now, I normal summon Queen's Knight onto the field. And I'll flip a Familiar Knight over. And I shall attack Marshmallow, and see. After damage, okay, so I don't think there's any damage, but and this card cannot be destroyed by battle, so that's the end of that turn. I drew my own copy of Queen's Knight, and I'll summon her to the field. And now I attack. My Dark Magician destroys Familiar Knight. $2,500 minus 1,200. Yeah, 1,200. I mean, it doesn't matter, but for the sake of the record, since we're playing with 8,000 life points, I calculated it down to 1,300. So 8,000 minus 1,300 is 6,700. And due to the special effect, or special ability as it's called sometimes, both players get to special summon a level 4 monster. Since I technically misplayed by summoning Queen's Knight, I can't do anything there, but I could summon Little Wingard in defense. And since Queen's Knight and Queen's Knight are the same card, they both destroy each other. That's the closest to a cat fight on this channel. So take that as you will. So I end my turn. I drew King's Knight. Now I'm going to hold on to King's Knight, because if I could bring back my Queen's Knight, I could summon Jack's Knight for free. So I will set my Clayman face down, and let's show for the record. Again, I'm playing against myself, so it doesn't matter. I end my turn. I drew Red Eyes Black Dragon. Now, I can't use most of my cards, but I could use Gift of the Mystical Elf, which increased my life points by 300 if... Okay, I'm just making sure everyone sees for the record. There we go. 300 points for each monster on the field. So that's 4 monsters on the field, which means that my life points increase by 1,200, which makes my life points on this side of the field 5,200. Now, the only move I really can make is Dark Magician destroys Clayman. And Clayman only has 2,000 defense. So that's the end of that monster. But nothing else I can do, so I end my turn. I drew Buster Blader, but I can't do anything. All I could do is set Celtic Guardian face down, and then my turn. And now it's my turn again, and I drew Beta the I can't speak. Beta the Magnet Warrior. Summon him in attack mode. Beta attacks the face down, destroys Celtic Guardian, and Dark Magician destroys Little Wingard. Now, the field is empty now of my opponent. Now, nothing else I can do on my turn, so I draw Guilford the Lightning, as you can see right here. Real powerful card, or at least back then, but doesn't help in this scenario because there's no field. So I have no choice but to set my junk synchron. Sorry, bad joke. I set junk synchron down, face down, and I have to end my turn. I drew Alpha the Magnet Warrior. Now, I have 2 possible plays. I could either summon my Red Eyes or my Alpha. I'm going to tribute my Beta and Marshmallow so I could normal summon my Red Eyes. Now, Dark Magician will attack my face down, destroying Junk Synchron, and Red Eyes attack directly, which would lead to not a game loss, but essentially the monster loses, or no, my opponent loses his 2,400. So 5,700 minus. So ultimately at 3,300, and I end my turn. I swear I put traps and spell cards in this deck, but I don't think I shuffled this deck before filming, so I'm not drawing a single trap card or spell card that could help in this duel. So I'm forced to set King's Knight and face down the fence, blocking out the Jack's Knight play, and then my turn. I drew Gamma, the Magnet Warrior. Now, really, it doesn't matter in this scenario, because I have game right here, right now. I could either tribute one of my more powerful monsters for Curse of Dragon, which is not ideal in this scenario. I could summon Gamma, or summon Alpha. Now, out of the two, Gamma has a higher attack power. 1,500. So I'll normal summon Gamma. My Red Eyes attacks, destroys King's Knight. Dark Magician attacks, knocking his life points down from 3,300 to 800 life points. Now, technically, the game could end here, but I'm going to give it one more turn because I want to see how bad this deck came out in this duel. Okay, I drew Gearfried the Iron Knight. I summon Gearfried the Iron Knight because that's literally the only play that's available. I destroy Gamma, which shaves off only 300 life points. So I'm down to 4,900, but that's the only play he had. I draw a big Shogarna, which I don't have to even set, which would help, but I'm ending the duel right here, so I summon Alpha. Dark Magician destroys Gearfried, which has 1,800 attack. And that's pretty much an automatic 700 life point loss. And I attack with Red Eyes for a game. So that literally ended the duel right then and there. But I want to see what would the next cards be. Because if he was able to keep going, the next card would have been Soul Exchange, which would have actually helped. Because Dark Magician could go bye-bye, so he could summon Jack's Knight. And as a level 7, I can't do anything. I thought 5, 6, and 7 were the ones where you can, but maybe it's 5 or 6, so it literally would not have helped either way. Next, there was Premature Burial, which would have helped. Rush Recklessly would have helped. Monster Reborn, which would have helped. Megamorph, which would have helped. Especially since he was on the back foot majority of the duel. But this is why it's always good to shuffle your deck. Even though I'm bad at it. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to actually do 2 duels for the price of 1 in this video. Okay, so this is the starting hand for both. And yeah. All monsters for our opponent. Just like last time, but maybe there will be a slight difference in play. Okay. But either way, I'm going first again. And I drew Gazelle, King of Mystical Beasts. Now, when it comes to summoning, I have 2 options. King's Knight or Gazelle. I'm going to go with Gazelle in attack mode. Now, I have no spell or traps I could use, so I pass the turn to him. He summons Axe Raider, which has 200 more attack. Gazelle is defeated. Goes into the GY. It just doesn't sound right. But nevertheless, turn is over. I drew Light Force Sword. I activate Silent Doom to bring back Gazelle in defense. I set Light Force Sword. We're not keeping Gazelle around for much longer, because we're going to tribute it for Jack's Knight. Which is a 5-star monster. And has 200 more attack than Axe Raider. Axe Raider is destroyed. And now my opponent's turn. And he draws Sword Hunter. I'm going to summon Karate Man and activate his effect, which doubles the attack of Karate Man, with the caveat that at the end of the turn, he's removed from the field. So Jack's Knight is destroyed. But since there's no other plays, Karate Man goes to the graveyard. I drew Chain Destruction. I set. And since I have no other monsters I could use, I'm forced to summon King's Knight in attack mode and attack. Okay, so this side of the field has 6,000 and I apologize, I'm using a calculator for this duel, and 6,400. You know, it's amazing because my grandfather actually grew up before calculators, had to do this all in his head. I feel like a disgrace somewhat. Alright. I drew Familiar Knight. Now, I set it face down. It doesn't help me in any way, shape, or form. Especially since I drew Magic Cylinder, which doesn't help me right away. So I set it. And King's Knight attacks and just destroys Familiar Knight. Oh, wait. I miscalculated. King's Knight has 1,600, and I did the math for 1,400. So, 6,200 is the real life point total. Sorry about that. Now I draw Queen's Knight. I summon I set Queen's Knight. I end my turn. I set Spellbinding Circle. Now I have 4 cards set. I attack to flip over Queen's Knight. And, well, I can't destroy Queen's Knight. So, I have my turn. I drew Clayman. I set Clayman face down and my turn. I set Magical Hats. Now my spell and trap zone are all used up. And I'm in a rough shape now. Okay. I draw for turn. Celtic Guardian. But I'm not going to summon Celtic Guardian. I'm going to summon a more powerful monster. And I summon a monster that didn't have any playtime in the last duel, but can't do much right now. Now, if I waited one more turn, I could have tribute a third monster. In this case, Celtic Guardian. I could have destroyed all monsters on the field. And I said back. But I'll try to attack King's Knight. And I activate Spellbinding Circle, holding him in place. So he cannot attack. I end my turn. I drew Crush Card Virus, which doesn't really help in this situation. I have to set it up for later if I want to use it. But as it stands, this is my hand. Crush Card, Baphomet, and light wave tuning. Now, I activate Light Force Sword, which randomly would normally make a card go out of play, but I'm just putting Sword Hunter out of play for now. And it's going to be out of play for 4 turns. I free up a spell and trap slot. And since I don't have anything else I could really do that would stop Guilford the Lightning and any other monster, I set it to defense mode. And then my turn. I draw Little Wingard. I set Little Wingard face down, and since Spellbinding Circle is in effect, I have to end my turn. I drew Monster Reincarnation. This is a card I'm going to use right away. I could discard 1 card from my hand to get a monster from the graveyard, put it in my hand. I don't really need lightweight tuning. I'm going to take Baphomet. Gazelle. Now this is in the GY. And now I end my turn. Junk Synchron. I'm going to summon Celtic Guardian. But nothing I could do there, so I end my turn. Excuse me. Now I drew Polymerization, which is the card I was actually looking for. So now I could fuse Baphomet and Gazelle. So I could go in this zone, search through my extra deck, which in normal cases is supposed to only be 15. But since this is a duel against myself, it doesn't really matter. When this card is destroyed, either I could put Gazelle or Baphomet on the field. I attack Celtic Guardian. Minus 700 life point. And now we're at 5,500. And that's all I could do for my turn, so I end. I drew my own copy of King's Knight. I summon it to destroy King's Knight. And I drew a spell, Dark Magic Attack, which I can't do anything with, since I don't have a Dark Magician on the field. I attack the set familiar, Little Wingard. That's all I could do. I drew Rush Recklessly, which will help. I activate it and increase the attack power of King's Knight by 700. So now 2,300, I destroy my Gazelle, or Chimera, sorry. And due to the effect of Chimera, I'll put Baphomet, since he doesn't get much screen time, and he actually has a higher defense point than Gazelle. 1,800 is better than 1,200. I only lost 200 life points, so I think that's about maybe 400-600 points. So that's all I could do that turn. I drew Dark Magician Girl. I tribute Baphomet for Dark Magician Girl. And if there's another Dark Magician or a Magician of Black Chaos, it would gain 300 points for it. I attack and destroy King's Knight. Minus 400. So 5,100. And I end my turn. I accidentally double draw. I want that on the record. So I drew Monster Reborn first. So honestly, I think in some cases, drawing double might, if I understand correctly, could be a game loss. But it's an unofficial match, so it's okay when I do this duel for YouTube. Now, I activate Monster Reborn. Look for a monster that I could use. And there's really only one I could really use in this case. And that's Chimera. Chimera attacks Dark Magician Girl. I take 100 life points. I would say, if I didn't use Magic Cylinder now. Now, one thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that you kind of have to know when to use a trap or spell card. Right away or later. And now is actually a good time to use it. So I could deal the damage back to my opponent. And that damage comes straight out of his life points. So 2,100 brings it down to 3,000 life points. I end my turn. I drew Summon Skull. I shall set my Crush Card Virus. Now, there's nothing I could do as of this moment, so I switch Dark Magician Girl to defense and end my turn. I activate Brain Control, which I pay 800 life points, so 2,200 life points left to temporarily have Dark Magician Girl on my side of the field. Both monsters attack, do 4,100. Still hanging in there, but the turn is over. I draw Swift Gaia the Fierce Knight, which I can't do anything with since it's not the only card in my hand. I still have Summon Skull, but if it was the only card in my hand, I could just throw it down on the field, which I could use to destroy Chimera. Since there's nothing I could do, I switch Dark Magician Girl back to defense and my turn. I drew Ectoplasmer, which I'll set and destroy Dark Magician Girl and my turn. I drew Buster Blader, which doesn't help in this case, but if there's dragon and type cards in the graveyard, it could help make it stronger, but it won't matter here. I end my turn. Axe of Despair, which makes Chimera 1,000 points stronger, attacks directly. And tell you the truth, I haven't been keeping track, but I think the life points are barely, like, maybe a couple hundred left. I could be wrong. If I am, please let me know if this is where the game should have ended. But I end my turn. Now I need harder cards. I drew Karibo, which is actually perfect for setting up Crush Card Virus. Because it has to be a dark monster with 1,000 or less attack. So I summon Karibo in attack mode so I could activate Crush Card Virus. Now, he won't take any damage until his next turn. So I destroy all monsters with 15 or higher attack, which means Chimera goes to the graveyard yet again. I swear, Chimera, Baphomet, and Gazelle went to the graveyard multiple times. Go for the Lightning goes to the graveyard. Now, I don't know if it affects the hand, but from what I've seen, a crush card, it does. So, Buster Blader, Gaia, Jack's Knight, go to the graveyard, and then I could destroy up to 3 more monsters in the deck if it's 1500 or more. So, Sword Stalker is one of them. Gaia the Fierce Knight and my blue Flame Swordsman are the cards that go to the grave, but also I think that impacts Sword Hunter, even though technically it was banished. Now, let me know if I'm wrong in the comments down below. I literally, when I started this video, I did not think I was going to use Crush Card Virus and a Karibo to trigger it. I mean, there's a chance of deck out in this game. A genuine possibility of deck out. For those who don't know, deck out just means you run out of cards. And then when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can tribute a monster to put this at the top of the deck. There's no monsters left, so I can't use it at all. I end my turn. Scapegoat, I set, and I summon Junk Synchron, and I attack for game. Nice. Now, we did 2 duels in the same video. We're going to have to do one more since it's a tie. I don't like ending a video on a tie. Okay, game 3. I'll go first yet again. I'll set Marshmallow face down. I'll set Magic Cylinder and negate attack face down. And I'll pass for turn. So I'll set Kunai with Chain, Tiki Curse, and Interdimensional Transporter. And you know what? This is a standard move in old Yu-Gi-Oh! You just have some face downs and you set a card and just hope your opponent's stupid enough to attack. I drew Magic Jammer, so I'm going to set it. So I'm moving my hand over. I think I like filming like this instead of crouching. Okay. So I have no monsters I could summon other than Dark Magician Girl, so I'll tribute Marshmallow to summon Dark Magician Girl. And then I could equip this to Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl. Gains. Okay, this is actually useful. I'll activate Magic Formula. Now my Dark Magician Girl has 2,700 attack, strong enough to destroy Elemental Hero Clayman. That only has a mere 2,000 attack defense. Whoopsies. Okay, nothing I could do here. Nothing I could do there. Nothing I could do there. And I'll pass for a turn. I drew Backup Soldier, which I'll set. And I'll set Familiar Knight face down and then my turn. I drew Alpha. I'll summon Alpha. And yeah, I'll attack with Alpha the Magnet Warrior into Familiar Knight. Now, I don't know. I think it still applies, but yeah. If you don't have anything that could increase or decrease the defense of your monster, you're kind of in a bad shape, I guess. I got nothing that could break the stalemate, but I got a monster I could summon. I drew Trap Hole, I set, and now I summon Tiki Curse in attack mode. And let's take a look-sees. Okay. It's treated like an effect monster while on the field with 1,800 attack. So I attack, destroy Alpha the Magnet Warrior, which means I take 400 life points in damage, and I end my turn. I drew Gamma, and the only play I could do in this is set Gamma face down. I attack Tiki Curse, taking 200 life points away, and I end my turn. Drew Ready for Intercepting. Set. Now all my spell and trap zones are taken up. The only thing I could do is set Karate Man face down. Because remember, I can't attack Dark Magician Girl because, well, she's a woman. You can't hit a girl. No. Bad joke, I guess. Or bad cliche, I should say. That's not really relevant in Yu-Gi-Oh, but Dark Magician Girl has 2,700 attack. So there's really not much I could do. So I have to end my turn there. I draw Curse of Dragon. Attribute Gamma so I could summon Curse of Dragon But I activate Trap Hole, which you can activate if someone's trying to summon a monster with 1,000 or more attack. So Curse of Dragons in the graveyard. And I have to attack Familiar Knight. I mean, it really doesn't matter who you attack, but sometimes it's better to get rid of cards you already know are a risk or not a risk. Because even though I'm playing against myself and I know all the cards that are played, when you're in a duel back then, you don't know if that's a Millennium Shield, if that's a Cyber Jar or anything like that. Oh wait. I end my turn. I got Soul Exchange, which wouldn't help. Wait, I might have a card that might be of use. No. Not exactly, but I'm going to flip over Karate Man and activate Kunai with Chain to put Dark Magician Girl into defense. Okay, it's only supposed to work if you're attacking, but again, this is looser things. I'm filming for fun essentially. So I'm able to destroy Dark Magician Girl, but because of the effect of Karate Man, I can't have it on the field after this turn if I use his effect. So I did. He's gone, and in turn, I draw a Soul Rope, and now I, in my turn, draw Premature Burial. Okay, so 7,000 life points. $5,600. And now I end my turn. This card will help. I set Big Shield Garna face down. Now, Big Shield Garna could help a lot back then. I'll set a monster face down. Dark Magician Girl attacks. Minus 600. So now 6,000 and 400. But now he's face up. So technically, yes, I did misplay. But I'm sure people would have done the same move, unknowing what the face down was. So now I summon Beta the Magnet Warrior, switch Big Shield Garna to defense. I destroy Mysterious Puppet Master. And excuse me. Sometimes when you're filming a video this long, you let those burps get in. Okay, we drew Crush card. I'm going to move Dark Magician over again. I set Crush card. I can't use that card. I am also misplayed by not using Magic Jammer. I shall set. Now I have to get rid of one of the spell or traps in order to use another one. And I realized I misplayed again because I could attack Beta. I summon Queen's Knight, Dark Magician Girl, attack Beta, negate attack, ends battle phase. Now it's my turn again. I shall set a face down. Let me know in the comments what this face down is. If you know, you know. You're going to see on the next turn. Draw. Summon Celtic Guardian. Dark Magician Girl. Attack. Spellbinding Circle. How many people watching this guess that I just said Spellbinding Circle? Sometimes Yu-Gi-Oh! Is part mind over matter. Or at least old Yu-Gi-Oh! Maybe it's more matter over mind now. I don't know. But anyways. Oh wait, yeah. I draw King's Knight. Now I tribute Beta and Big Shield Garna to summon Dark Magician. I activate Interdimensional Matter Transporter to temporarily banish Dark Magician Girl in my cute little banish zone. So Dark Magician will attack and go for taking out Celtic Guardian. I mean, this isn't a counter card, but I'm going to activate it because Dark Magician is a spellcaster. And it's going to essentially set Dark Magician manually. I end my turn. So Dark Magician Girl comes back. I draw Little Wingard. I set Little Wingard. Switch my two monsters that I can switch to defense and reluctantly end turn. Draw Gazelle, summon Gazelle, flip over Dark Magician. And Dark Magician attacks, destroys Dark Magician Girl, does 500 damage, knocking the life points down to 4,900. And Gazelle destroys Celtic Guardian. Celtic Guardian has lower defense, so he's in the grave. With that being done, I end my turn. Activate Rush Recklessly on Queen's Knight. Queen's Knight. Oh wait, before that, Magic Jammer. I discard Light Force Sword. Now that doesn't work. Ring of Destruction on Dark Magician. Now, if you don't have Ring of Defense, this is a bad play. Because now, for 2,000 and 400 life points remain for the opponent, and five 5,400 is I think 2,900. Both dangerously close. But I'm going to activate a Soul Rope, which allows me to summon one level 4 monster. So I choose Queen's Knight, and yeah, I have 1,900 life points left, but it's going to be worth it. Now it's my turn. I drew Gift of Mystical Elf, and I summoned King's Knight. Now with the summoning of King's Knight while Queen's Knight is on the field, I could summon Jack's Knight directly from my deck. After shuffling, I would have never have got Jack's Knight in the duel had this not been the play. I have game definitely on the board. So Queen's Knight and Queen's Knight attack each other. Round. That's like a little cat fight in Yu-Gi-Oh. Jack's Knight attacks Little Wingard. Excuse me. King's Knight attacks. So 1,600 minus 2,000. I mean, it doesn't matter because attack with Gazelle and win. So that was, I don't know. I kind of like filming these type of videos. It's actually kind of fun to play Yu-Gi-Oh! The way I grew up. Even though you could use newer modern cards, older cards are fun. Let me know what you guys think about classic Yu-Gi-Oh! Are you guys a fan of the original anime? Like Duel Monsters, GX, I guess even 5Ds. And let me know, what was your favorite card growing up? Is it still your favorite card? Like, do you still like that card today? Do you play your favorite card, or do you only play what's meta? And I know people kind of choose meta, but I don't know. This is supposed to be a game about fun and trusting and believing in your cards, that your cards will get you through the match. Let me know what you guys think. Personally, for me, I'm a blue eyes white dragon type of duelist. So naturally, I gotta go with blue eyes white dragon. Let me know what you guys think. Is this something you guys would be more interested in if I do duels like one duel at a time, or film these hour-long duel matches, pretty much best 2 out of 3 type of scenarios? And I'm planning on making more decks, and eventually possibly just going to an actual tournament, like a card shop tournament, because I'm not ready for pros at all. Just not ready. Believe it or not, I never played an actual tournament at all. I mean, I was okay, but I wasn't god tier as a player at all when I was younger. My happiness was I was able to win at least once against the best players in my class. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about these types of videos. And do these physical card game videos have a leg to stand on a gaming channel, I guess? Since I'm trying to distance myself from gaming, since gaming is toxic right now. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. Let me know how many misplays you've seen throughout this whole best out of 3 match. And let me know what you guys think about older Yu-Gi-Oh! As a whole. Thank you guys for watching, and I love you guys. I'll see you in the very next video.